You're looking at a microchipped bee. The CSIRO is using them to track the insect's movements. The devices are tiny and they are all around you in their billions. Chances are you're carrying a couple of RFID microchips now, and if you are, they're sending out a 15-digit number that identifies you. That number can be picked up by what's called an ISO compliant scanner, and they're everywhere too. The chips are embedded in credit cards, Myki cards, and the swipe cards that let people into their office buildings. They're used to track manufactured goods in factories and stores, identify livestock and lost pets. And now RFID microchips like this are being injected into humans. Dr. Mark Gasson of the University of Reading in England was injected with one in 2009 to control electronic devices in his office. He later became the first human in history to be infected with a computer virus.
When the systems read my tags, the computer virus has actually appeared throughout the whole database. So it's actually replicated itself and copied it throughout the database.
The microchip implants are coated with a biocompatible material that enables them to bond with the surrounding flesh and sinew. That keeps them in place, but makes their surgical removal difficult and painful. Companies in America have marketed human microchips for security or medical purposes, but most microchipped humans are amateurs who have injected themselves, or who have convinced their family doctor to do it for them. They call themselves biohackers, and they use the chips to open doors or unlock their cars, phones and computers with a simple wave of their hand. Some biohackers go even further by also injecting themselves with self-made devices that enable them to pick up electromagnetic waves.
I want to see if I can't make the human evolve faster than what nature has allowed it to be.
Science is now challenging the very idea of what it means to be human. British cybernetics professor Kevin Warwick has an electronic device in his body that interfaces with his nervous system and is now working on implants that will enable humans to communicate just by thinking.
It will be brain to brain. That's the next step. That's what I'm working on now. Thought communication.
Having an electronic implant might seem too painful or weird to even contemplate, but scientists like Warwick and Gasson say that view will change dramatically. Forget mobile phones, your children and grandchildren may well want an implant instead.
It's not possible to interact in society in a meaningful way by not having a mobile phone. I think human implants are likely to go along a very similar route. It would be such a disadvantage to not have the implant that it essentially becomes not optional.
Right, and the whole agenda is to create a one-world government where everybody has an RFID chip implanted in them. All money is to be in those chips, right? There'll be no more cash. And this is given straight from Rockefeller himself. This is what they want to accomplish. And all money will be in your chips. And so instead of having cash, anytime you have money in your chip, they can take out whatever they want to take out whenever they want to. If they say you owe us this much money in taxes, they just deduct it out of your chip digitally.
Total control.
Total control. And if you're like me or you, and you're protesting what they're doing, they can just turn off your chip. And you have nothing. You can't buy food. You can't do anything. It's total control of the people.
And that chip's connected to a database that has your purchasing records, what you do,
everything. Everything is in there, you know? And so they want a one-world government controlled by them, everybody being chipped, all the money in those chips, and they control the chips, and they control people, and you become a slave. You become a serf to these people. That's their goal.
Retail is changing rapidly, and brick-and-mortar stores face more challenges than ever, like these long lines. Let's follow this customer and see how the shopping experience is different with Fujitsu's RFID Gate self-checkout. At first, he shops as usual. The aisles look the same. But notice how all items are pre-tagged with an RFID tag, eliminating the need for scanning individual barcodes at point of sale. Now that he's done shopping, it's time to check out. And wait in a long line? Not so fast. Let's replace half the traditional checkouts with RFID gate checkouts with Palm Secure. Our shopper, of course, chooses to check out at the gate because there's no wait. To begin the checkout process, the customer pushes his cart into a vacant gate. The customer checks in with his palm using Fujitsu Palm Secure Palm Vein Biometrics. The screen welcomes him as a loyalty customer, asks him if he's ready to scan, and once confirmed, the scan begins. The gate will scan all items in the cart with an extraordinarily high accuracy. The customer will have multiple payment options on the screen, including cash, credit, debit, Google, and Apple Pay, as well as paying with his palm. Paying with your palm is fast, convenient, and hygienic. Once scanned, weighed, and paid, the gate opens, and the happy customer exits the store, not having had to wait in a long line. Now, let's reimagine this in a clothing store. As with the previous customer, this customer shops as she normally would. Notice how in an apparel store, all items have hanging RFID tags. Looks like she's ready to check out. The customer approaches a traditional point-of-sale checkout, complete with a daunting line. But wait, now the customer has another option. This customer also prefers not to wait in the long line, so she approaches the Mini Express self-checkout. Notice again how the customer does not have to remove items from her cart. She simply drops the basket in a slot and pushes the scan button. Once scanned, the customer is given multiple payment options. She chooses to pay with Palm, a quick and easy way to pay. The customer takes the receipt and is able to leave the store without any hassle. So why not go from this to this with Fujitsu's newest innovations that are reinventing shopping with RFID scanning options at the point of sale. For more information, please visit our website.